Hello to all, my name is Melinda and welcome to Universe Lovers. For safety, I'm going to be applying my UV protective gloves. I'll be using the Prey Extend Gel along with some acid-free primer, a cuticle pusher, cuticle nipper, and a buffer, along with some of my favorite bits. To begin, I'm pushing back the cuticle, doing some nail prep. Now I use this cuticle pusher because it came along with a bunch of the cuticle nippers that I use, but it's too thick and it's not my favorite. Also, I used a sanding band to do some nail prep, and it also wasn't a favorite of mine. I never used this technique. I tried it because I see it on YouTube all the time by other nail technicians, and it just wasn't my favorite thing. It was good to rough up the nail plate, but it wasn't good in the long run. I had to do more work, and it kind of just cut up the cuticle in a way that I didn't like. So I definitely wouldn't recommend it this way, but if it's your way, then continue doing whatever works for you. After etching the nail with the sanding band, I'm now going to cut the cuticle, and then I'm going to apply some acid-free primer onto the inside of the Gel X Prey tip. Next, I take some of the Extend Gel and I just wiggle it in there, and I just try to measure it by eyeballing it, because it's only my second or third time doing this, but I just continue to do it, and then I lay it on a nail and I push down. Now I'm getting better at the technique, and I feel that with the Prey Gel X nails or just the full cover tips, you have to, for me personally, I think it's best to put the nail a little bit lower than your cuticle area. Now, the reason I say this is because once I start doing the cleanup work, which is shaving down on the border of the nail tip to make it look more seamless, I don't want to touch too much of my natural nail, along with some of the glue that comes and pops off when you're starting to learn a new technique. To sum it up, the key tip is to avoid hitting your cuticle area, burning your cuticle area, cutting into your cuticle area. So by placing the nail a little bit lower under the cuticle line, where you can have just a little bit of your natural nail showing, it's going to make a big difference, and it's going to make things a lot easier, and your cuticles are going to stay intact. Also, this 5-in-1 nail bit is a game changer when it comes to using these full cover tips. I'm now applying some primer. Primer is used as a sealant, extra adhesion. I like it because it has like a tacky, sticky layer onto it, which helps prevent from any water or any lifting happening, which is ideal when you're wearing these full cover tips or any type of nail extensions. Now I'm applying base coat onto the nail. Make sure that when you apply the primer that you don't apply too much, because then it's going to take too long to dry and it'll be harder for the base coat to stick onto it. With primer, a little bit goes a long way. Now for today's nail look, I'm using a glitter polish. So you got to make sure when you're using a glitter nail polish that you're actually shaking it very well. Because if you don't, then glitter just settles at the bottom, and when you start applying it, then you only get glitter in certain parts of your nail, which is a bummer. So make sure to shake your glitter polish very well, most of your polishes. I don't usually do that for all my polishes, but for glitters, definitely a must. Quick nail hack that I learned on YouTube is that when you want the bling bling effect to be in full throttle, then you have to apply some glitter gel polish behind it. Now I did 3 coats of that, and then I apply the stones, and then they just show, they shine bright like a diamond. You can see them. The bling is everywhere, from down the street to the corner, in the club. It's all out there. So that is the trick. And when I tell you that people were going crazy over these nails, like when I first did them, I was like, oh, I don't know, right? Because this is my first time doing them in a different way. I've done them plenty different ways, but this time they came out the best. But I was still learning, right? But these nails were definitely eye-catching. I literally had to put stone by stone on, and then I noticed that if I put too much, or put top coat, or you can put glue, I did top coat on the whole nail, then I noticed is also that sizing is important. So I had to figure out okay, big stones into middle-sized stones. Some corners and angles needed smaller stones, especially that I had stiletto nails. So I had to basically do a lot of measuring, a lot of science and mathematical stuff. So yeah, but it worked out. I feel that the quickest and easiest way to do it was to honestly by trial and error, and also by just putting a line where you're going to put the stones of your glue or your top coat on. That's the quickest way and the best way and the most effective way. If you try to apply it onto the whole nail, then you can't flash cure it in steps. Like if I did a row and I flash cured it, it made it a lot easier, and then I'll just put the next line of glue or top coat. For me, I use top coat, and it just worked a lot easier. So to make it more effective, easy, and not such of a headache, definitely do it that way in increments, step by step, little by little. Also, I did on each nail until I figured out the rhythm of stone size. I actually started with the pinky finger, which was a lot bigger stones, and I was like, oh, that's too chunky. And then with the next finger, I did big, and into medium, and then into small, and that was different. Then by my middle finger, I was able to kind of get the system of it, and then by my pointer and my thumb, I was like rocking on. I got it. I had it. Top down. It was easy. Now, if I try this look again, which I will, I'll probably do it with black stones. I feel it'd be fabulous with some black stones or even red. Oof, red, yes. Ruby red. It's going to be a lot easier, and I'll finish this whole process a lot quicker, but it is what it is. I'm applying some more top coat and just sealing those areas and making sure that everything's put together. I actually winged this whole situation because I didn't have my tool for picking up the gems, and so I used the back of a art brush by applying some top coat to the tip of it and then just picking them up and applying them, as you see here. You gotta improvise. You gotta improvise. Here I am adding the final touches of gemstones towards the end of the nail. Now be careful to not add too many, especially towards the end, because then it'll add a lot of extra bulk. So make sure you just kind of even leave less than you would. Just keep it filled in the middle and sort of in the sides, but not really on the edges, FYI. Here I'm taking some top coat and I'm just sliding it through all of the crystals, just straight down. I'm just wiggling that in there, making sure that they're locked in, and I'm doing that to each and every nail individually. And this was a perfect way to do it, honestly, because these gemstones stayed on my nails for like 3 weeks. So they were blinging for a long time. And to finish it all off, I just cured my nails for 2 minutes just because there's a lot going on with this look. And also I don't know, this gel lamp, I just sometimes feel funny about it. So I did a 2-minute cure and everything was set in place. Everything was ready to be shown and, you know, rocked in the world and bling bling every time I come around, singing bling bling, you know, stuff like that. And here you see I did a little video while I was in the cab on my way to Cali, Colombia. This is the world's capital of salsa. Like, I didn't know that. Why? But it is, and I was super excited, and I was on my way there, and the weather is blazing hot. I mean, like hot. So the sun was shining, and so were my nails. They were blinging so hard. Like, people were blown away by these nails, including myself. You know, sometimes you do something and you can't fully acknowledge it and be like, oh, this is so amazing, so beautiful. For me, I'm the same person. I have to give it like a day or two. A best friend of mine told me, like, don't ever judge or look at your work right away. Wait till the next day, even the following day, and then you'll truly appreciate it. And that's a message that I want to share with you. I want to pay it forward. Like, whatever you do, sometimes it's just best to not judge it right away, because you're always going to see it almost with like with an eye of like not appreciating exactly what you truly did, when what you truly did was outstanding, but you can't appreciate it right away. So let it sit for a little bit, like I'm sitting right here drinking this mango smoothie in the sun, and you'll appreciate it, because look at this. And by the way, since it's so hot out here in Cali, I have just been drinking mango smoothies like every day. Everywhere I go to eat, I'm like, oh, mango batido con agua. I'm all for the freaking mango smoothies. I love them. I love mango. It's my favorite fruit, just in case you want to get to my heart and you want to just make me yours. Become a mango tree. Alright guys, love you all. Have a fantastic day, week, month. And if you enjoyed my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Toodles.